People deluded, I'm back again.
Come on, Ian, bro. Come on.
Against this right back, Charlie, definitely.
Bruno Fernandes, man said Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Guimaraes, apologies. And apologies for my camera. I don't know what's going on, man. The webcam's pissing me off. I was trying to fix it. But apparently Bruno Guimaraes talks have hit a bit of a roadblock. We're still linked with Julian Álvarez. If you believe that's going to happen, let me know. Indirectly, there's been some movement where Aston Villa is concerned with outgoings, which indirectly could have ramifications on Morgan Rogers or any potential deal. You know, you're seeing Man United getting Telemans, getting Santos. Other clubs starting to make movements. And we are making movements, you know. I still maintain I'll judge my football club not at the start of the window but at the end. But yeah, it's time to get a move on. Don't forget to smash the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to get the creative juices flowing as usual. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and of course in some cases good night. I hope you're doing well and safe. Hope you're blessed. Karma, appreciate you. As she said, let's go, guys. No amount of fake news, fraudulent in the no chances or selective quotes using aggregator accounts will alter that stance from Newcastle. Same guy who said that about Isak last summer. I will repeat for the hard of hearing. Alexander Isak is not for sale this summer, not to anyone, not to Saudi Arabia, and not to anyone. There you have it. I think the Bruno news is fake. For me, off the bat, I don't know, innit? Because at the end of the day, I always say this, what we're being told, whether a deal is going to happen, whether it's, you know, whether a player is going to sign for a club or isn't, that's us just going off speculation. You know, we could be aggressively linked with certain names, but in the real world, in that Arsenal, Arteta, Andrea Berta, nothing's happening. So until people are holding shirts, doing medicals, it's all nonsense. What I would say is it's clear with Newcastle. They're going to make it extremely difficult for him to depart. They're trying to rebuild. They've seen several of their key players leave. He's under contract for a while. He has got 2 years left. And there's, you know, in terms of if in any negotiations, if you want to buy something and someone wants to sell, we want to spend you want to spend a bit less if you're buying, you want to make a bit more if you're selling, in it. So yeah, for me, really and truly, David Ornstein and of Arsenal, Fabrizio Romano, till that man say something, it's all up in air. For me, when it comes to Morgan Rogers, obviously Bruno Guimaraes is the flavor of this live stream and whatnot. I'm only interested in one thing. Do I think we could tempt Bruno Guimaraes to sign for Arsenal for a variety of reasons? 100%. Do I think Bruno Guimaraes off his own bat is enticed and intense by Arsenal? 1,000,000%. Simply put, do I think Arsenal want Bruno and Bruno wants Arsenal? Yes. But it comes down to two parties. For all the talk about third parties and whatnot, Newcastle, Arsenal, can you agree a fee? Will you agree a fee? So we have to sit pretty and sit tight, man. We're going to get into that in just a moment, but big up you lot that have been here from early. Smash the like button and subscribe and keep your thoughts coming. Newcastle slap price tags on players they know only stupid and desperate clubs will pay. Why I always saw this as a non-starter. When the price is too excessive, we walk away from the table. I want Guimaraes. If you can't get him, make sure we get another guy that can play as a 6 or an 8. And a part of me is going to feel, you know, obviously, whatever you think Bruno Guimaraes is worth, we've seen everything from 55, 65, all the way to 100 million. It's not that I feel Newcastle value him more than that. But again, if they let on top of everything they're looking to do in terms of outcomings and on top of everything that's happening with outgoings and where their summer is and where last summer was and things of that ilk, yeah. For me, it's quite simple. Like, they might price him out of a move this summer. They might think, oh, 65 for a 28-year-old is decent, 70 is decent. But if they were to sell him today, are they going to get someone of similar quality today? Like, not a young G that can be groomed and grown into that kind of stuff. Are they going to get that? You know, Aston Villa stole one of their midfield targets. So they might price him out of a move. They might sit it to Guimaraes and say, you know, give us one more year. Next year, we understand you'll actually be 30 next year because you turn 29 in a couple months. We'll give you that move. Go do what you're doing, sort of thing, innit? You know, it's a weird one because Tonali had to have been engineering a move from January before. Now you look in hindsight, he was offered to us. Anthony Gordon, that must have been a move on the cards for a while because I can't tell you for the life of me, but there was a period with Newcastle last season when you're watching the games and more importantly, when Eddie Howe's speaking, managers are quite evasive on whether players are staying or not. But Eddie Howe was saying, like, there's going to be a future without Anthony Gordon. We need to not play him. So there's that too. Guimaraes is the one that, of course, they know they've had a disastrous season. They're not really on track of what they were doing, getting Champions League, winning cups, and looking to do what Newcastle have been doing. He's their captain. He's, got an allegiance to Newcastle, and they've got an allegiance to him. He's probably the one they were hoping to keep. I understand the reasons if Guimaraes stays, because at the end of the day, if he's priced out of a move, he's going to have to get up and get on with it. I understand if he's going, 28, 29. I'm seeing people in the national team win stuff. Arsenal on me. We've won the Premier League. We've had some good battles against them. My Brazilian boys are there. Arteta's chatting to him. He might be looking at it and thinking, on one hand, there's competition for places. I have to compete with Lewis Skelly, with Zubamendi, with Declan Rice. But at the end of the day, I'm here to take someone's shirt, or I could coexist with them. When people remove whatever they have to say about our club, you've seen the trajectory, you can see it, and we finally got some level of fruits of our labour. I know we got to 2 finals. The FA Cup was poor, but we did win the Premier League. Comes down to money, like, at the end of the day. Newcastle, Guimaraes, Rodgers. I don't think we're getting Álvarez, and I don't think that's just money. His heart is set on Barcelona. There's a lot of poker games being played, really and truly. So God knows. Luke Edwards, the journalist who writes the transfer fan fiction. DG, okay. Big up DG. Big up yourself, Strictly Cannon. So if we don't sell Martinelli, are we still going to get Rodgers, Bruno? Not happening. 7 weeks window closed. It's still not sold any players. Shambles of a window. Oh yeah, current champions. Tranquillo, I hear the concerns, but let's wait before we judge judgment on the club, because at the end of the day, if the window closes and you don't do what needs to be done, then there's issues. Martinelli's a non-starter, in my opinion. We're going to get that Zolis guy, allegedly. You might be able to get your Morgan, Rodgers, or Bocolas, but minimum comes to it. I'm not saying I'm happy with it, but you have got Martinelli. You have got this new guy. You bring in the centre mid. I don't believe the striker stuff, if I'm honest with you. Afternoon, DG, back from the shadows. Cam, one love. Smash the likes, you fraud. Mo, appreciate you, man. Big up, DG. I don't think we get both Bruno G and Rodgers. It'll be one of, especially with both Newcastle and Aston Villa now losing key players. When I say no Orny, no party. How can he go and play for Newcastle again if he publicly said he wants to join us? He hasn't publicly said anything. Yeah, he actually genuinely hasn't. And generally, there's been players. Rooney's come out and said, I want to cut. Suarez has come out and said, I want to cut. Lampard has said, I want to cut. I even, many years ago, Vieira used to say, quite frankly, I want to cut. And if you leave, great. But they've also stayed at clubs. So you can, in theory, say things in public. Time's a healer, get on with the business, but he hasn't said anything in public. David Ornstein's come out and said, and everybody else, that he's communicated his desire to leave Newcastle. He hasn't come out and said, I want to go. He hasn't done a Julian Álvarez, where Julian Álvarez, after whatever game it was in the World Cup, said, listen, I think I want to try a new experience. He hasn't come out and said anything publicly. He can make his feelings known privately, which, okay, I want to cut. I'm not going to do the Isaac thing, but I want to kind of get out of here now. I've had some good experiences. We've won stuff. At the end of the day, it's one career. He ain't said anything. Bruno defo ain't leaving Newcastle for 60 million. Arsenal need to go up to 85 plus minimum. 85 plus is my absolute maximum. I'm trying to get it done for 75. It really should be 65. But you know what? All sorts of taxes. Tax because they've lost their key players. Crazy market tax. All of these taxes in it. Why would anyone believe Luke Edwards? 2 days ago, he said Mazambi deal is 100% done. He's a clown. We need a left wing. I mean, you know what? Luke Edwards can't be any worse than Craig Hope, innit? We need a left wing and a midfielder, and Rice seems finished. Rice ain't finished. The man's just knackered, man. The Gooner channel, appreciate you. Just tuned in, and that hat is special. Appreciate you. I'm in my hat wave for some weird reason. Rob, appreciate you for your consistent support via being a member. Saeed, one love. Listen, United just got Telemans we need to fix up. But we need to watch out. We need to focus. It's like a test. We need to focus on our own stuff. Telemans, good signing for Man United. Santos, good signing. I think they could do with one more midfielder, but they could finally achieve balance with them two. Kobe Mainoo. I think Bruno Fernandes is a good player, but incredibly frustrating. With those two in midfield, it sounds mad. You could actually make him take more of a risk. My hot take, at some point, you might even see Bruno Fernandes play as a false nine. He definitely should have done that for Portugal. If we don't get him, it's a disgrace. Telemans don't move me like that. I'll be real. I like Telemans. I think he's a fantastic footballer. I think I do think that. I think sometimes he can switch off defensively, but that's minor. And it's really just injuries. I think it's a good signing for Man United, and I actually like Man United's approach. Whether you think they're level raisers and different makers and all those things, that's another thing. And only Man United fans can answer that. But they've gone for the shiny new toys, the big caliber players, the big money signings, and ultimately it's come to nothing. So. Yeah, and even you look at number of clubs, a number of players that our clubs have signed, Arsenal, Liverpool, Man United, it's not necessarily been the big money signings that have been the difference makers, or if they're not big money, the guys that when we signed them, we're all up in arms, we're making videos, we're giddy sort of thing. I'd actually like to see some coin coming in and wage bills come down. Jesus is a huge earner. Why isn't he? I'd be amazed if Jesus ain't gone, my boy. Fabio Vieira and Reece Nelson are past their sell-by date, and I'm not convinced about Julian now because he don't want to join us. Obviously, if Barcelona step away and he's adamant he wants to leave and we can scrape some coins together and Berta and Arteta do something, I'm having Julian Alvarez. That's what I'm not really buying. If I'm buying any of them, we're showing intent to go for Bruno Guimaraes. In my heart of hearts, as much as I want Morgan Rogers, I don't think we get him. But I didn't think we'd get Declan Rice. We got him. I didn't think we get Bamian. We got him. I didn't think we get Osu. We got him. I didn't think we get Alexis. So maybe when I don't believe we get players, we get them in it. So yeah, man. United cooked twice, man. Avoided Edison and got Telemans for pennies. We're having such a bad window. Who we get instead of Guimaraes? It's down to the club because I don't know. When Guimaraes featured on your recruitment list, I wouldn't say it's all doom and gloom. Of course, you want those players to be happy about, but at the end of the day, I can't tell you who gets someone else. You're going to have to move on. Where my issues are is if the window closes, you haven't got that 6 or an 8 like Guimaraes that I need. You have not got that left winger. You have not got a defensive reinforcement and everything else. And I look at my team and think, right, you know what? Maybe on occasion we can rest certain players. There's different options, yada, yada, yada. As I said, I know it's frustrating, but judge them at the end. At the end, you can't do anything about it. Don't judge them at the start. I understand it, but we don't understand what's going on in the world. I know other people have made movements. And if nothing, have we not learned from last summer? Granted, this time last summer, Zubimendi was in. A couple other players were there. But when we're looking at the major players, we was cool with Zubi. Noni Madueke came in. He's generally had a good World Cup, stunk up the place in his last game. That just sums up him, if I'm completely honest. Gyökeres, Sporting were playing hardball. Eze was allegedly within a whisker of going to Spurs. We lost that North London derby, was all mad. By the end of it, we had a good signing. We had a good window. Apologies. Don't worry, we'll get Garnacho, God forbid. The only sure deal is Zolis. Until people hold his shirts, who knows? Berta is moving way too slow. Villa selling Telemans complicates this for us. We'll get onto that. But how do we know Berta's moving slow? Because I actually agree. I think Arsenal was the delay thing. I would have loved to have, been like City, and like Rodgers would be our Elliot Anderson, if that makes sense. Like you've got big money signing while they're at the World Cup. I definitely would have loved to have been in Barcelona's shoes and signed Morgan Rodgers or someone before the World Cup. I'm a bit jealous of other clubs making movements, but how do we know? We don't know what Donny's doing. Unless any of you have Berta's number, Mikel Arteta's number, we don't know anything. But I do agree, it does complicate stuff because of the wages. Luka Dean is going to PSG, apparently, who, if I remember rightly, signed a new deal last year on lower wages to help Liverpool, to help Villa with their wages. But naturally, that makes it more difficult for us. Who's the other one from Aston Villa? Telemans has obviously gone, freeing up wages. And obviously, they've been like, them players have release clauses in their contracts, innit? They've been fucked. I know it's a different kind of thing, but Onana, apparently ACL or MCL or something, they've been fucked with that. Part of me wonders, Rogers, why did you sign that new deal? Or why don't you have a release clause? We should have Telemans years ago, same with Bruno G. Yeah, we definitely should have Bruno Guimaraes. Telemans a quality player, but we should have been the first in the Prem to have him. Does everyone remember a few years ago when he was like 17, 18, and they had Dennis Pratt at Anderlecht and they played quite well in the champs, but I'm not crying over Telemans. I think he's a great player and whatnot. If Guimaraes goes somewhere else or Rodgers don't happen, and then I'm starting to get pissed off, if I'm honest with you. Like, let's control our emotions. Martinelli can't afford to go anywhere, man. If you're not going to sell Martinelli, we're not getting Rodgers, so left wing would still be weak. I disagree. Well, you're bringing Zolis in it. We can't be panicking every mid-July because we haven't signed anyone. Trust him better. You're preaching to the death at this moment, but people are going to lose their cool. We should go all in for Bawardi. I'm with that if the Guimaraes thing ain't happening. Who would you rather take, Noosa or Zolis? Olu, it's not my fault you ain't got style, man. Who would I take, Zolis or Noosa? I know more of Noosa in it and maybe World Cup hype and whatnot, but you see the rumours, Leipzig are on letting him go for 50, 60 million euros, so that's 50 odd million quid. I do think we could work with it. I've seen more of Noosa in it. I ain't seen this Zolis, brother. Bar when he's played us in that Champions League highlights on YouTube. I'm not watching Club Bridge. From what I see, though, I do like him. And it could be a smart addition, if I'm honest. If we don't sign Bruno and Rodgers, it's a disgrace, tranquillo. I'm happy we did not have him. I don't think we win the league next year, looking at the World Cup impact and no transfers, neither win the champs. Less said that. No matter how slim it looks, we've got a title to attempt to retain and do something I've never seen this club do, retain the title. The domestic double is still on, man. I wouldn't mind Manu Kone. Telemans is a Europa League player. Him and Mayno is the slowest midfield ever. Off the ball, they're in issues, man. What we do in this market. We should have gave Bruno before we tried everything for Rodgers. We don't even know. How do we know we've not launched an official bid to Newcastle? And we don't know how fast we've accelerated or how ahead or how anything Rodgers is. So do have to be a bit easy, man. Holy idiot. I'd know Bruno. Would you rate Barrios? I like Barrios, but I'd rather Bruno. I don't get why Arsenal fans are panicking. United midfield next season is Santos, Maino, Telemans, Mount, Bruno. We need to chill. My only problem is if we sell Jesus, Norgard, Nelson not being done, bro. Appreciate you, Karma, for lacking that. There's several spinning plates in it. There's several spinning plates. Arteta, Berta, Josh Kroenke, you lot are not idiots. You know that we finally won the Premier League. All fans are on side now. For a number of years, all fans have been on side, but universally, all right, cool, you've got over the line. Why press the brake now? Yeah, fuck Garnacho at Arsenal, man. Please, God. Please, man. Please. Can see us signing Nicholas Jackson and Garnacho from Chelsea as panic buys. You lot are doing the most. I remember last season, all our talks with Gyökeres had died, and then suddenly Fabrizio Romano posted, "Here we go," with no clues. I'm calm, to be honest, because I believe we're getting Zolis, Bruno, G, and Rodgers at least. I can't sit here and say I believe we get Rodgers and Bruno Guimaraes, but stranger things have happened, man. Any more on that Bosnian youth? Nope. Villa need funds. Now we're probably getting Rodgers. Do they need funds, or do they need to decrease that wage bill? Because they're two are interlinked, but they're very different. The Bruno, and they even got, is it Louis Barry? A talented young player who they bought many a year ago. Obviously, it ain't worked out. He was on 35 grand a week. So you've clipped him. You're clipping Luka Dean's wages, whatever it is. Telemans must be on 100 plus. You're starting to flex. Of course, they need to bring in players and do what they're doing. People losing their minds already. It's not even 2 weeks into July. Listen, I'm a big fan, and I do say, I don't tell people what to think. I can't control that. If you want to lose your shit, it's crazy. As much as football and Arsenal means the world to me, to a degree, you can't stress over what you can control. I think logically, you're allowed to be frustrated. You're allowed to ask questions. You're allowed to get a bit jealous of what other people are doing, but calm the fuck down. That's my thoughts. But if they don't want to calm down and you want to lose your shit, just make sure you're smashing the like button. That's your business, innit? Like, people can do what they want to do, man. Arteta and Berta are obsessed with Álvarez. That's why it's taking too slow. I have a feeling that now we won the league, they have reverted back to how they were before. I mean, the past isn't nice, but yeah, run me Kone if Newcastle are playing hardball. I wouldn't be against Manu Kone. As I said earlier, or another stream, you know, when you look with Guimaraes and this one and that one, Manu Kone could be seen as a come down, but there's a lot of, bro, he would give us a lot, man. Trouble, appreciate you. Let's be real. The reason why we went crazy with it last couple of years was we was finishing second. Zolis will probably happen. Rodgers, I'm not worried yet. DG, my general, long time, Killy. Why are we obsessed with waiting for Álvarez? Well, if we get Álvarez and the Chelsea player, I'm done with Berta. I hear that, but you can be done. And I'm not being rude, but like you can say you're done with Berta, you're done with Arteta, this, that, and the other. The world's going to still spin. 2 Berta's still going to be here. 3, what can you change? Really? Fabrizio has been saying for a month that Rodgers is our top target, so I believe we'll get him. Can be our top target. I need to see fees agreed, medicals, and all these kind of things, if I'm honest. K, appreciate you. No, we can't go from Rodgers or Bacola. No, we can't go from Rodgers or Bacola to Rodgers or Bruno G. Rodgers and Bacola can be profiled somewhere, somewhat similar, but Rodgers and G, hell no. Preseason starts in less than 3 weeks. We need to get moving on. That's where my thing is. I want players in for preseason. And the only thing I'm on crashing out over is probably a concern we all share is like burnout and the spine of our squad being decimated owing to the World Cup and people needing rest and all of those things. As we saw last year, we won the league, but with a point to no, we didn't. What was it? 7 points? But there was a point, yeah, at last season where every point mattered, didn't it? Like it was fluctuating. So every point matters from the jump. So yeah, man, I'm a big fan of you starters. You mean to go on? DG, are you still calm? No bids for your top targets? I have to be calm. Like I want signings, but why am I crashing out? As I keep saying, and I'm not going to keep saying the same things. For me, the crash out thing is at the end, like God forbid, but we get to the end of the transfer market, August the 31st, September the 1st, whatever the hell it is, and we haven't addressed areas. Now I'm mad because you can't do anything about it. Get on with it. There's other credible reports that are not from that clown Luke Edwards that are saying Bruno deal is close. If it's close, let it be close. Michael, appreciate you. I want people to be holding shirts, man. So it kind of is what it is in that regard. So we see what's going on in the world of the transfer news. Keep your thoughts coming. Tomorrow we will, and I promise you for real people, we'll be watching France versus Spain together. So make sure you join me and make sure you're smashing the like button. Bruno Guimaraes is flavor of the month. So at 7 p.m, I believe. Yeah, 7:15 better yet. I did a video actually thinking about what he could look like at this football club. We'll circle back on this article, people, because it's an article I find interesting because I keep saying it on my platform. But yeah, there's been a tiny bit of an update with Leandro Trossard. Bit of conflicting stuff depending on where you read. So yeah, get comfortable, man. We're into the serious business now. Man said Luke Edwards is a fraud. Don't trust anything he says. Do you know what I've clocked? A lot of these Newcastle journalists. I'm not saying they're wrong, they're clearly in the know, but one, them man are journalists. It's not saying they ain't got links and whatever, but you can think what they're saying is fact. And not Newcastle fans or whatever, the Newcastle journalists, the Craig Hope, the Luke Edwards, they're a bit feminine, innit? Like, they get in their feelings a bit. Like, the whole reported stuff around Isaac, around Bruno Guimaraes, like, why would he go to Arsenal? They're like, they're a bit snooty and it's projecting-y, kind of, if that makes sense, innit, people? But yeah, man, we'll get back into Bruno. Let's start with this. Arsenal's Leandro Trossard close to agreeing personal terms with Besiktas before potential move. Trossard is close to agreeing personal terms with Besiktas before completing a potential transfer from Arsenal. The Athletic reported on July 4th that a 20 million euros in brackets 17.1 million pounds deal comprising of an 18 million euros fee plus 2 million euros in add-ons had been agreed between the clubs, with wages up to around 9 million euros for Trossard. I wonder how much that works to a weekly wage. As discussions between the player and the Turkish club continue, final paperwork around the transfer is now being prepared. The move could be completed this week. So then do we see some acceleration with our pursuit of Rodgers, who can play out wide, Bacola, who they're saying 100 odd million, who obviously plays as a left winger, and probably more realistic is that Zolis guy from Besiktas. The 31-year-old forward is close to signing a 3-year deal with Besiktas with the option of an additional 12 months. Trossard, who has been a regular for Premier League title winners last season. Arsenal, boy, I love it. Had 1 year left on his contract. In August 2025, he agreed new terms, which included a significant pay rise, but did not extend his stay at the Emirates beyond the already set expiry of 2027. The forward obviously actually had a good World Cup campaign, did his thing for Belgium. They're now out. Obviously, Mikel Merino dumped them out. He made 50 appearances for us last season. He scored 8 goals. Clearly, we need more of a bagsman. Well, Trossard, cult hero, bro. Like, you'll always be, you had many a clutch moment. To be honest with you, Mikel Arteta, you don't have a long list of those, but by default, value for money, you're probably the best attacker. We'll all remember many a moment, probably arguably scored our goal of the season. There's a couple candidates with his goal, Sunderland away. What else has Trossard done? We're all going to remember the West Ham game for a variety of reasons, innit? So big up Trossard. You could argue he scored the goal that won us the league. You could argue Kai Havertz did what he did against Burnley. You could argue Krupi did. There's many different kind of moments in it. So he has been a regular. Big him up for that. But unfortunately, if you and Martinelli were squad players, great. That left wing has needed to be refurbished a long time, innit? So yeah, people, it is what it is in that regards. Riley, shut the hell up, man. This guy's an idiot. But as I said, conflicting reports. You could believe Trossard's going. You could believe Trossard's not. Florian Plattenberger said, exclusive, his top agent, Dirk Hellbau, told us for Sky, I can confirm that Besiktas did everything they could to sign Trossard. However, no decision has been made yet. Leandro has all the offers on the table and will make his decision soon. He's a world-class player with several options, including staying at Arsenal. Now, the first thing, an agent is never going to come out and say the opposite, innit? He's never going to say there's not offers and my player is not good because you want to earn your commission. I agree in that. I think anything can happen with Trossard. I couldn't tell you what club, but he must have Saudi interest. Whether he wants to go to Saudi Arabia is another thing. There must be interest from Premier League clubs in which I don't really want Trossard to go to a Prem club. I think it could bite us on the arse, but I do think that we could be a bit cute and clever and within the remits of his contract and his age, charge a premium sort of thing. And I do understand why you might be enticed with the wages you're going to get at Besiktas, the length of contract, living in Turkey, the tax around it, whatever they've told you in terms of the sporting project. And, bro, Turkish football's mad, isn't it? Whether it's Galatasaray, Fenerbahce, Besiktas, it's a madness. But this, in my opinion, Arsenal want to get a deal done with Besiktas. Besiktas wants to. I do think Trossard's exploring the market, innit? So, yeah, this could have ramifications. And there's obviously a reality he stays, and that probably means we don't sign a left winger. If Trossard, to humor what said there, if Trossard stays, I can't lie, you still need to rise up a left winger because we've seen enough in it. Now, Luka Dean could be making a return to PSG. In his Aston Villa contract is 10 million euros, people. Yuri Telemann's release clause of 35 million has been activated by Man United. You know what? Someone at Aston Villa made an error, you know, from a player point of view. 35 million for you, 10 million for Luka Dean. They've done all right, but 45 million for two very good players that could start for a number of teams. That's it. In terms of money, you're struggling. They probably let Martinez, the goalie, leave, and we might get commissioned there. The only reason I'm watching these things is for a bunch of reasons that we've discussed and no doubt could discuss again with you all day. Morgan Rogers is a difficult deal. Morgan Rogers is going to be even more difficult. Why? Telemann's I couldn't tell you his wages. Aston Villa, the wage ratio thing, they're struggling. They need to look after that. They can be from a footballing point of view, it's an L letting Telemans go. From a financial point of view, you're saving bread. Luka Dean signed a new deal and took less wages, but there's also that. So it might make it even more testy and tricky. Arsenal's 2026 summer-sided so far. Piero, Nkapie, and Millier. Anyone happy yet? Come on, people, man. It's just a joke. Don't cry. Let's speak about Julian Álvarez as well, people. Atletico Madrid have made it clear to Julian Alvarez's camp that they are prepared to sanction a move to Arsenal this summer. However, Barcelona remains the player's preferred destination, which is a talented player. Well, I don't want to hear none of this. Andrea Berta has held direct talks with Alvarez. It's understood that he'd be willing to and be open to the prospect of moving to the Premier League. It is that willingness which continues to encourage Arsenal. Don't beg, it's disgusting, man. Gunner Blogger said, I don't rule out Arsenal signing Julian Alvarez. What I do know is that Mikel Arteta absolutely loves this player. And whenever he's, I can't say that word, but I'm just going to say in love with a player to a degree he is with Alvarez, I can never rule out him getting his way. Pardon me, his way. Practically, in terms of the money it would cost, what it might mean for the forward line, there are very, very significant hurdles to overcome. It's one of those you have to wait and see. And now with my logical thing, Guimaraes, wait and see. Bacola, wait and see. Rodgers, wait and see. Álvarez, wait and see. Man, want to see peas, bro. Put the money down, bro. PSG are buying the whole world. Álvarez is the best. Most of the English media don't know shit. They just project and hope something sticks. Arsenal fans should relax because all the players they're linked with will cost north of 80 mil. They report based on emotion. Yeah, the Luka Dean, here we go thing has happened. Good move for him, if I'm honest. As we've seen, Arsenal apparently are weighing up whether to proceed in their attempt to sign Guimaraes after they were initially led to believe he could move for only 50 million. Guimaraes' reps believed the bargain price had been implied in talks with former co-owner Amanda Stevali, but Newcastle will not budge from the 100 million valuation. Now, first thing, that could legitimately be the truth. What I would say is, I do think it's probably insulting to Bruno Guimaraes, his advisors, and Arsenal. You know you're not getting him for 50 mil. Even though we like to do that kind of smart stuff, we knew we weren't getting him for 50 mil. Again, if our verbal offer has been 55 mil, yeah, you could look at it as, oh, the asking price was 50. We've offered a bit on top, allow it. That's clearly just a first little floater. I don't believe that in it. What I do believe is, obviously, it's going to be difficult to sign him. Very pessimistic on the big signings anyways. If you sign them, great. Don't believe this. And again, in business, and more so for Guimaraes' advisors, because this guy's a football player, we've come to gentlemen's agreements. I wish we lived in a world where everybody said what they meant and meant what they said and everything like that. But you see in business, which unfortunately football is, if it's not in cold-hearted writing, think about it. Let's just say I'm bad, man, and you're a footballer that plays for me, and I know you want to go to sign for them bigger clubs. There's two realities. If I put a release clause in your contract, Bob's your uncle, you can do what you want. I might tell you, you listening to this right now, I might say, yeah, man, you can leave for 50 mil. When it comes to people bidding 50 mil, I can look you dead in your face on a scumbag thing, say, what are you talking about? I never had that conversation. Is it in writing? Is their I's dotted and T's crossed? The dream is free. The hustle is sold separately. And, you know, Mr. Luke Edwards is a bit of a twat. Like, I mean, come on, man. This looks like a twat, ain't it? Really and truly. But, yeah, man. What has he said here? Who's he beefing here? Let's see what's going on here. And he said exclusive. And again, a lot of you pointed out the Isaac stuff. My thoughts on Bruno and Arsenal are as followed. Arsenal like him, Bruno likes them. But there's a big difference between liking a player at 50 million and wanting that same player almost double the price. I'm sure Arsenal will test the water some more. As we saw with Isaac last summer, there's no such thing as not for sale. I've reported where things are. I fully expect a counterclaim from the player side to come in response to what I've written, as they've been using the media to shape the narrative. You all shape the narrative. Players shape the narratives. Players use journalists. Agents use journalists. Clubs filter stuff. It's a dirty game. Nobody's hands are clean. And clearly, you want to make sure you're still up there with Newcastle and getting the gigs and the fancy seats and whatnot. That's the transfer market for you. People want this transfer to happen. It might happen. It might not. But if you want to know where we're at this precise moment, I mean, are you hand of whether it happens or not? Are you hand of Arsenal? Are you Fabrizio Romano? Are you David Ornstein? Are you any of them kind of man there? Nope. So I ain't ever seen you do transfer exclusive. I'm sure you have, but yeah, I don't know what you're on, people. Allegedly, though, Arsenal have been misled over the price of Bruno Guimaraes, with a report suggesting Arteta and Andrea Berta felt that they could get the Newcastle United midfielder for just 50 mil. Maybe they did, and it gives shades of the Suarez thing, but I don't doubt the intelligence of Andrea Berta and his team, innit? I think this is nonsense, really. You know, he's got 2 years left on his deal. Had this been a year from now, like a year in the future, then yeah, I just think this is a dickhead thing. But anyways, Romano has said Newcastle want 90 million for Guimaraes, but Arsenal do not want to pay it. He said last week about Guimaraes, Arsenal, Newcastle. My understanding is on the player side, Guimaraes wants to go to Arsenal. Guimaraes has a clear desire to go to Arsenal, and personal terms would not be an issue. So Bruno wants to go to London and wants to go to Arsenal. Then Bruno Guimaraes, from what I understand, didn't tell Newcastle something in the Alexander Isak story like 1 year ago. Sell me, I'm not going anywhere. Bruno Guimaraes wants to be respectful of Newcastle. If Newcastle can reach an agreement with Arsenal, Bruno will be happy to go to Arsenal. If this doesn't happen, Guimaraes will not create problems to Newcastle. So it's a different attitude by Bruno. Bruno is not saying sell me or I'm going to create issues. That's really important to mention. But Bruno wants to go to Arsenal. And now what's going to happen next? My understanding, sources involved and close to the story say that a transfer fee, maybe around 90 million, could be the beginning of discussions. Arsenal, from my understanding, are not offering 90 million at least at this stage. So it has to be negotiated. We have to see now if from the starting point 55, then eventually 65, and then the magic number in this case 90. If this is in range, Newcastle and Arsenal can try to reach an agreement. He did say on the 8th of July, Arsenal prepare new official bid for Álvarez. Arteta wants him. 55 million already rejected. Second approach at 65 million, package rejected too. Fee in between of 65 and 90 million could accelerate talks. Bruno told Newcastle last week he wants the Arsenal move but won't create issues, leaving decision in the club's hand. Big up Ben Jacobs, but nobody doesn't care about that. The Telegraph, apologies, has said the North London club were informed that Newcastle would sell Guimaraes for 50 million this summer if Eddie Howe's side failed to qualify for the Champions League next season. The Telegraph has noted Arsenal always knew Newcastle wanted to keep Guimaraes and appreciate how crucial he was to Eddie Howe. But they're encouraged to pursue the player as they were informed it would take a bid of about 50 million to open the door to talk. So 50 million to open the door to negotiations is very different from Arsenal thinking 50 million to get a deal done. You're saying bare things. That view appears to have been based on a conversation between Guimaraes' reps, who claim to have had with Amanda Stavelli, Newcastle's former co-owner, who said they'd be willing to listen to offers of that size if they failed to qualify for the Champions League. There's no release clause in Guimaraes' contract, which has 2 years left to run with a club-held option of another year that effectively ties Guimaraes to Newcastle until 2030. Newcastle's stance on the fee for Guimaraes has come as a surprise to Arsenal, who are considering whether or not to press ahead with a potential deal for the midfielder who starred for Brazil at the 2026 World Cup. So, yeah, go off that, whatever you want to draw. If this will load, don't do this. But that's annoying. What's going on here? Why is Twitter froze? We've gone over that. Arsenal maintain regular contact with Zolis' camp over potential move this summer. Zolis wants Arsenal move, waiting for Leandro Trossard to decide on Besiktas move. So there you have that. I don't know why this is technical difficulties, people, but we're not going out like that. I promise you we're not going out like that. Oh, well, what was that? Let's go back. What did that say? Should we scroll down? Yeah, we've gone over the Guimaraes thing, gone over Zolis. We know where Trossard is. Where's Talking Ivory, mate? Let's go with that, because that's what's not loading. Which is annoying, but nonetheless, we'll scroll up. Oh, what's this? Arsenal signing Julian Álvarez cannot be ruled out. Mikel loves the player. Arsenal remain keen to complete a deal for Guimaraes, emboldened by the player's desire to join them, says Tom Canton. Arsenal are weighing up whether to continue their pursuit of Guimaraes after initially believing the deal could be done for 50 mil. Somehow, Noni Madueke has created the most chances and big chances. Arsenal only entered the race for Guimaraes after being told he could be signed for a bargain price. That's not proved to be the case, and talks remain deadlocked, as it says there. This Sherlock guy is quite decent. He's got quite a decent World Cup, so I wonder if anyone's going to be on him. Apparently, Arsenal, Atletico Madrid, and AS Roma are battling to sign Club Brugge's Nicolo Tresoldi. On March 31st, we relayed news both Arsenal and Tottenham have made contact, and the striker is ready to change clubs for around 25 to 30 million. A month later, Sports Witness covered claims from Belgium that Arsenal are ready to offer 30 million to sign him from Club Brugge. The Premier League winners haven't made a bid yet, but maintain their interest in the 21-year-old. According to whatever article it says here, it claims their own information on the Gunners, Atletico Madrid and AS Roma. He's got 23 goals and 9 assists from 53 games. Arsenal offer will be key for the signing. The North London club have also shown concrete interest in the Club Brugge star. The newspaper claims Arsenal, Atletico Madrid and Roma are all trying to sign the player, even though he's technically not for sale. As of now, none of the suitors have contacted Club Brugge. Club Brugge's stance is to keep him for another season, which would make it more complicated for interested parties naturally to sign him, people. So, yeah. I mean, it's better off doing your scouting and finding these unknown duds. Please don't start. Miguel Delaney did say, Arsenal are attempting to get a deal for Atletico Madrid's Julian Álvarez done before pre-season. Apologies. As competition for the player looks to have regressed. The 26-year-old finally came alive in this World Cup on Sunday morning, scoring the extra time winner for Argentina in their 3-1 win over Switzerland with a brilliant curling long-range strike. Shock horror. Argentina find themselves on the beneficial side of a number of dodgy decisions. But hey, what do I know? That ironically came as the options for the player appeared to have lessened. Due to politics, Álvarez is open to a move to Arsenal, but his preference had been to stay in Spain with either Barcelona or Real Madrid. Atletico are nevertheless insistent on not selling to either of their rivals, as reflected in the series of spiky social media posts. They have been aggravated with the public nature of the campaigns both clubs have used. PSG had previously been interested, but admit a sense that was merely testing the situation as they survey a range of options. That points to few of the entwining elements that have delayed progress on a few high-profile deals. Álvarez has long been Mikel Arteta's main attacking target, but Arsenal naturally looked at other targets as the deal seemed complicated. Bradley Barcola has been one of those, and Arsenal had been given encouragement a deal could be possible as a Qatar-owned club consider reshaping the attack, but PSG want to keep the young star. The situation may well change again when the dust settles on a chaotic World Cup, but Arsenal are currently pushing on Álvarez. A prior issue has been they don't want to go above £90 million, whereas Atletico want north of £100 million. The deal also involves Arsenal sporting director Andrea Berta negotiate with his former club. Arsenal remain hopeful on securing Morgan Rogers too, but the World Cup has showed what was already a protracted transfer. So it depends what you want to read, innit, essentially, folks. So yeah, it is what it is in that regards. Let me scroll down and see what you lot are saying. What United fans on Wallahi Ineos has put their standards down. You lot in the chat. Let me leave it to the chat. Let me actually read what you lot are saying. Big up Deluded. Get me Adam Walton, Bradley Barcola, Zolis, and Cole. I'll be happy. I think we can get these players. Adam Walton, you're paying probably more than Declan Rice, especially because you know what the market is. Bradley Barcola, you're looking at 100 million quid. Zolis seems attainable, and I don't know how much we want Manu Kone, but you're seeing 40 to 50 million euros. That ain't breaking no bank, in it, really and truly. I guarantee we'll sign a Chelsea player this summer instead of Bruno. But embarrassing that even as champions, we've got no pool. Even Spurs and United have no problem landing transfer targets, while Arsenal have only signing Cappy and a dodgy keeper. Totally tranquillo, man. Tranquillo. We are closer to getting Mavropanos than Rodgers. We have been linked with Mavropanos again, people, but can't see that. Big up yourself, Adam. You lot in the chat, man. Just make sure you're smashing the likes, man. Luke Edwards said this morning that the Bruno deal is all but done, so he's crying about Newcastle losing Bruno. But I'm relaxing. Our targets teams are losing players left, right, and centre. Rodgers and Bruno are going to be in maximum security. Their clubs won't let them leave. As much as that's disappointing, scouts do your job. There's a million players. We've known for a while, or I've known for a while we need a centre mid. We've known about left wing. As much as I want these players, go and find something. Panic for me starts when the window closes, you don't rise up names. And what is panicking going to do? You can scream, you can shout, you can get all about. But other than that, like, can you go to Aston Villa and sign the players for Arsenal or Newcastle? Are you in contact with Arteta and Bell? If you are, it's different. But life's already stressful. Why stress over what you can't control, man? DG, it seems to me we try to be clever. I agree in the transfer market. But what we already see is if you don't put the big money on the table, the deal is not happening. I'm not sure our approach works at the moment. They've got to prove us wrong, man. Luka Dean is going to PSG from Villa. Would that help our pursuit of Rodgers? No, I think it make it more difficult because they're shedding people off the wage bill. Madrid didn't want the guy. They just gave 400 plus a week. Not sure what that means, man. He was saying Newcastle get Mazambi. No one getting him. A day later, he's going Brum like Villa. Just get Guimaraes and wait till the end of the transfer window if that's what Better wants. All I care about is Rice getting rest. Trossard and Arteta hesitant about his move to Besiktas. It's a weird one because on one hand, the market's weird. Some players can't leave until a replacement comes in. Some players, it don't really matter. Some players, do you want to let Trossard go before it's confirmed you brought in a left winger? Who knows, man? It's all swings and roundabouts, man. Them Newcastle journalists are sly bitter. Take it with a small grain. I'm here with that. It's still too early. People need to calm down and trust Berta, Arteta, and Josh Kroenke's support. Currently, our squad is looking worse than last season as our best attacker is about to leave. I like how it took only one goal from Álvarez to make everyone forget his horrendous performance. It's horrendous. If Zolis is the Trossard replacement, is Rodgers then the Martinelli replacement? Nah, I'd more believe Barcola if he came in. Two different kind of players, isn't it? With some of these reactions, you'd swear we finished second again. Relax, people. We'll still keep pushing for trophies. The signings will come. Smash the like if you haven't. Zolis is not an upgrade on Trossard, so it's weaker than. I like how it took only one goal from Álvarez to make everyone forget his horrendous performances. To be fair, Álvarez, Yamal, couple man ain't really had the World Cups I thought they would have. What happened to Bruno talks? I must have missed that. Incoming Chelsea reject says, usual. You lot, man, the sun is shining in the United Kingdom. I understand the frustrations, but liven the fuck up a bit. And what did I do to you lot? To the 74 of you that have hit the like button, appreciate you. Please make sure we get to 100. You lot, come on, man. What three players do you want to see at Arsenal the most? And what do you think we need the most? What I think we need the most is another defender who's a bit versatile, a central midfielder, and a left winger. I would like a striker. Now, if you could get Krupi, if you could get Álvarez, I'm not advocating for this Club Brugge striker, but in the sense that he's unknown, no one's really going for him. I don't mind scouts doing their kind of jobs, if that makes sense. I think they're the areas that I would look at for me, and maybe even a left back, you know, but that's more for next season. The players I would love, if it was up to me, Bruno Guimaraes tomorrow, Rodgers tomorrow. Part of me wants to take a punt on Nusa, you know. Part of me wants to take a punt on Nusa of Norway. Álvarez is too short, will lose physicality in attack, and he doesn't score as much. Are you sure? Look at this guy. I can't take a Chelsea player at Arsenal. What is the transfer win? Nah, I can't lie. Our club's taking. If you buy anyone from Chelsea, and I'm exaggerating, but if it's not Reece James, Cole Palmer, Caicedo, that kind of João Pedro, if it's not their good players, I don't want to hear it in it. Like I really don't. Like I'll even take a Malu Gusto. We're taking a piss if we're buying their garbage. And if we ever signed Garnacho, I don't think. All right, come on. I don't know what Arsenal are doing. We do this every year. We've got the money to spend. We're keeping the money in our pockets and not showing any ambition. Tranquillo, guys. Do people realize Villa actually need Rodgers' money now that they've just lost their left back and centre mid on the treat? Millier and Mbappe cost the same, by the way. Come on, we're being a bit silly. They're free transfers, but never mind the wages and the signing on fee of killing Mbappe. Saeed, you're better than that, man. You're being silly, bro. I hear it, but you're being silly. Fire, one love, man. Big up DG, my boy. Right back at you. Big up the nation. Smash the likes, man. Appreciate you. Where is the right back? Bring that in, man. Bring that in, man. We need someone that could ideally play on both sides, man, because you got Timber and White. You never know. For them with injuries, it's probably not as exaggerated, but Calafiori and Hincapié pick up knocks. So, yeah. SI, stop trolling in the chat, man, because you lot are already too emotional over football. Should we type in Arsenal and see if there's anything else in the Arsenal world? What was that? I saw something about double something. What's this? What's this as well? Oh, we've gone over that. What's this? Aggressive push can see Arsenal land 220 million pairs. Guimaraes, Rodgers decides on Gunners moves. Arsenal optimistic they can secure the signatures of both Bruno and Guimaraes this summer if they choose to pursue both deals aggressively, according to sources close to the club. My biggest pet peeve here is journalists saying sources. Like, if I just write sources close to Halle Berry says she wants to go on a date with me. No one can verify that. Like, nobody can verify that. And again, they're regurgitating the same thing. So, yeah, Arsenal is still assessing things. Is there anything new? Rodgers is our top target. He's understood to be open to a move to the Emirates. So we welcome the opportunity to work under Arteta. With sources making it clear he's more than open to the switch to the North London club to take his career to the next level. And we're not going to 130 million, but you're going to have to pay something, people. This is just a crazy think piece of stuff that nobody asked you for, if I'm honest with you. Who else is this? That's Trossard. Rodgers appears to have moved one step closer to securing a blockbuster summer transfer following the confirmation Aston Villa have reached an agreement to sign Johan Mazambi. You never know. He could be their replacement, but I'm always of the belief good players play well with each other. And if you're Emery and them, man, you want these guys to play together, you know, themselves. And at the end of the day, I don't know Emery and their sporting directors. We don't know their plans in it. So it's a case of 2 + 2 equaling 1 million. So there's no point really reading that. What's this? Trossard's on the verge of an Arsenal exit. We definitely have gone over that, ain't we? Nothing there. What's this? Barcelona have responded to the Julian Álvarez stuff. I want specifics. Where's the quotations? We'll see about signing him. Obviously, we're not going to dance to anyone's tune. We'll set the pace. Our bid was made with the intention of signing a player who is liked by both the sporting director and coach. I think he's a fantastic player. Our substantial offer is still on the table, but it won't be there forever. So everyone's putting their cards on the table. Atletico Madrid have done that. Barca are now doing that. Álvarez has done that. A few games ago, he said he wants to leave, innit? I spoke with Miguel Angel Gil, and as always, we spoke very clearly and amicably. I understand that we have a very good relationship with them. There was some initial confusion regarding the offer we made. I clarified it. I understand, and we haven't pressured them further. Barcelona alone could fund Álvarez, and they have got Karim Adeyemi. See, you laughed at me, and they went and signed Adeyemi. Manu Kone, who's been linked with Arsenal and Man United, apparently has spoken of his future, or better yet, the Roma coach Gasperini said, it's undeniable that Roma have to balance the books. I hope that reaching the Champions League will be enough, but it's clear that balancing sheets are essential for clubs and there'll be more clarity in the coming weeks. It comes amid interest from Man United. According to a report from La Gazzetta dello Sport, the midfielder is also a target for Arsenal to keep understands. Meanwhile, La Corriere dello Sport add that Roma value Kone at 55 million euros. Apologies. So what's that? About 50 million quid, maybe 49, one of them weird numbers. A lot cheaper than some of these guys that were linked within it. And yeah, allegedly Morgan Rogers remains Arsenal's top target regardless of the move for Zolis. But we'll have to see, man. I like talking about theories and it's great talking to you lot, but until people hold his shirts, the dream is free and the hustle is definitely sold separately. Anything else? Ganacho. We've spoken with the sporting directors and there's interest in from other clubs. Let's see how it develops. Hopefully it finishes in the best possible way for all parties. They're hoping to sell him for 50 million euros in the next 2 weeks. Arsenal, do not get excited and get involved in that. I don't Álvarez. Why agree to go into City if you just ended up in Spain to come back? It's the life of being a footballer, innit? Oh, you lot are doing the most. The transfer chaos has started. Social, one love. Yeah, and people are doing nonsense in the chat. You lot are just rage baiting each other. I remember last season watching streams with people melting down. If we don't sign a striker by July 1st, let better cook people. May I know about Martinelli move? I think it's news to me because I can't see anything about Martinelli. Nusa does look good. He makes one to take a chance, man. Saliba's first French teammate at Arsenal is Millier. What a signing. Well, technically not, but yeah, since he's come back to the club and become a proper player, yeah. How are we being misled at 50 million when Romano said Arsenal has already offered 55 and 65? Luke Edwards is a fraud. But just don't crash out, man. Just don't crash out, man. Just let them talk, man. Like, to me, I'm not really taking stock in anything until people are holding shirts, but this is where just chill out a bit. I know it's easier said than done, but just chill out, people. I understand football means the world to us and we want to see club sign people, and obviously we ended our 22-year drought, and yes, we want that. But football's a fickle game. You're all crashing out, throwing your toys at the pram. If we sign Guimaraes and Rogers tomorrow, you're all gonna get horny and giddy in it. Just corner. Just go and get some rare enough and just corner. Just wait to the end of the window, man. Well, end of the window, I'm joining you lot, you know. I'm joining you lot with, if God forbid, but I will join you lot with the crashing out thing. Because I've still got, you know what, someone burnt me and pissed me the fuck off. I'm sure that, I think it was the song we sang, Calafury. Was he the only one? It was definitely that was because that summer was this, like, obviously the season that started, that was the year that fucking we had like 14 draws. I don't want fucking about. Because I think it's a twofold, really and truly. We need people that can take this thing to another level. There's areas, I would say it's definitely left wing, where we've known we've needed this for years. We've just won a title. We've sniffed at 2 other cup finals. Let's pattern up and do what we need to do. Also, we can't pussyfoot around it. Our spine of our squad we're running a thin line in it. Rice, Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, red zone thing. Saka, we're having to manage his minutes, and that's going to continue. Even Odegaard, even though he looks a lot fitter. That I'm on, you know, at this moment in time, I'm more crash out in theory about that than transfers. But yeah, and we got a target on our backs. Unfortunately, this football club, in my opinion, in my 31 years, as much as it hurts to say, we've never had sustained success. We've had a period of success, and we get to the mountaintop, feel like we fuck about. I want to see something I haven't seen in my life, which is retaining the fucking Prem and making a meal of it. Because there's a lot of questions we can answer that we can't answer about no one else. I don't know what United, City, Liverpool, Chelsea, Spurs are all going to look like, but we've got a target on our heads. And we're marked by PGML, even though we were done dirty. So let's see. Everybody wants our chain. Come and get it back. Let's get knives and guns. Big up the chair, man. Let me take my seat as I've got my bottle of water. Come on, chair. Is that what you're saying? You're with me. Don't worry, man. We're in World Cup mode. It's coming on, man. We'll deal with this, so we need to deal with it. Zumendi can't compare with Telemans on the ball. Fair enough. Nobody rates my team, my manager, my players. The minute they sign players or they get a little young player coming through, they do the comparing thing. Haters just love it. Shut your mouth, mate. Just enjoy the chaos. Look at Newcastle and Villa. Shit's hilarious for these FFP clubs. I really believe Creepy has a higher ceiling than Álvarez. I prefer Creepy. Obviously, if we're doing this right now thing immediately, can't look beyond Álvarez, innit? But I really rate Creepy. I think there's something in him, if I'm honest, man. DG, they're They ain't getting no league back staying with Arsenal. Let's go do this. We aren't even shopping for starters outside the left wing either, talking about Álvarez. But you lot, the Suns, I don't know about other countries, but the Suns nice in the United Kingdom, you know. Let's calm down, man. 13th of July. I know you're not going to calm down. And this is a democracy on this platform. Unless we're back in Saka, then it becomes a dictatorship. I don't tell you what to think. Just think, but calm down, man. Stress over what you can stress over. Things that you can control. Your bills, your job, your relationships, your romantic relationships. I understand stress with that. By the end of the day, as much as I love football, man, I have to step back. I can't. There's nothing I can do that changes anything. And also, I don't have all the variables. Now, obviously, if I knew Arteta and Berta and everything and we weren't making no moves, and I knew this because they're telling me, now I'm going to crash out. But I don't. So, it is what it is, man. Newcastle journalists are like little babies when it comes to transfers with how much they cry all the time about their best players leaving. It's true. We'll sign someone, obviously. The Monga thing was disappointing. Spending months to walk away with 3 million is embarrassing. I agree, man. Just fucking about. And even people say, no, 12 million is too much. Bro, come on. What is 12 million today's day and age? What is 12 million? What is 12 million? Because you could at least sell him for 20, 25. You already made, assuming he doesn't develop. I get it. If you've got principles and barriers and guidelines and you stick to your principles, whether it benefits or not, I understand it. But it's an idiot thing, man. It really is, man. Big up you lot in the chat arguing, man. But yeah, with that being said, man, I'm gonna go and get on with life. I actually, again, like I said, 7 p.m. people, got a Bruno Guimaraes video coming out, so make sure you take that in. I'm going to actually finish off a Zolis video for you lot and get that uploaded. Tomorrow we'll be watching France versus Spain. I've been in, you know what? I've actually been enjoying this summer, man, and actually not getting my love for football back. But as much as I love being with you lot, it's nice to just be an actual fan, be at the pub and whatnot. I have enjoyed that during this World Cup, but we're back tomorrow to watch France versus Spain, 10 minutes before kickoff, people. So there's always content and more content. But without you lot, the channel's dead, innit? So everybody that's participated, commented, like button, subscribe, mods, silent viewers, people watching on the replay, appreciate you lot. Without you lot, it's dead, innit? Especially because you lot are always here, regardless of the season or literally the season, not the Premier League season, but you know what I mean? Summer, winter, spring, etc., etc. So, yeah, if you haven't subscribed and smashed the like button, make sure you do. You lot go and enjoy your day, man. It's been a great 52 minutes now with you lot. It's always difficult to say bye, but yeah, man, we need to get some players with X Factor. Make sure you only tell them who does this United fans chatting.
You always just like, when like,